Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Thoughtful Leaders. Today we have with us Dr. Kheya Furtado, who is the Assistant Professor at the Goa Institute of Management. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sridhar. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Can we go ahead with the questions, ma'am?
Sure.
Yeah. The first question. In your opinion, what is the future of healthcare management education in India? Is the demand as strong as it was a few years ago, or is it waning?
So I think really the demand is only increasing is the short answer to that question. We started the program in 2013 and we were amongst one of the first healthcare management programs per se, not just a hospital management or public health management, a healthcare management program. And so year on year, the number of applications to the program, the diversity of profiles, the quality of the profiles of students who apply has only been increasing and improving. We're really happy about that. And it comes at no surprise, honestly. The healthcare space is one of the most exciting spaces to work in right now. The industry is growing phenomenally over the last decade or so. Whether it's our pharma industry, our hospital industry, health insurance, all of these are doing really well. But juxtaposed with that, also we've got a lot of affordability and accessibility issues, right? A lot of the Indian population still doesn't have access to affordable and quality health services. So there's also, we're signatories to the Sustainable Development Goals. India is signatory to the Sustainable Development Goals, which universal health coverage is one of those goals. And so there have been policy reforms and initiatives by the government to really make health a priority and move in the right direction to enable access for all. So with all of this happening together, it just makes the sector really exciting to work in right now because there's so much of opportunity. And so it's the perfect, space for innovation, learning, and so therefore not surprised that the demand is increasing and can only be sort of forecast to increase further.
All right. The next question, ma'am. What are some of the biggest challenges you see, both for healthcare management education in general and for GIM specifically?
So I think, in general, I still think that within those who, people who graduate from a clinical background or an allied health background or the life sciences, it's my sense that the awareness of management as a next step in their career is being an option. Management being an option is still not sufficiently known to them. So a lot of the career choices are the usual post-graduation choices and specializations that these graduates undertake. But management and the option to go in for a management post-graduation degree is something that I think we still have to make sufficiently aware, because I know that there is a lot of people who want to get into it, but they're not aware of what kind of career track it leads to, how these courses are structured, whether they'd be the right fit for the course. And because over the years, healthcare programs have developed more as being hospital management programs or public health, which are very important and great programs. But healthcare management is different in that it brings all these sectors together. It brings the providers and hospitals, it brings the pharma space, the medical device and technology space. And then it adds on to that things like, current subjects like machine learning in healthcare, advanced analytics in healthcare, which are really tools of today that can be used for, doing so much in terms of growing the sector and making a difference. So I think the challenge is for us to sort of reach out to people who want to work in this space and have them know that these options are available. And also not just for people with clinical and life science backgrounds, but given the subjects I just mentioned, like analytics and machine learning, it's also for people with a computer science background. That healthcare space is such a great space to work in right now. So I think for us, it's about making this information available to everyone. so that we can sign up for it.
Okay. Next question. How would you describe the right sets of skills for an HCM student they should be equipped with?
So, there's a lot of skills that, students, I think, in any sector should sort of be equipped with. But if I had to sort of focus on maybe a few skills for HCM students, I think the first would be inquiry skills. The ability to ask questions, question why things work the way they do, and can it be different? Health systems around the world are in transition, especially in developing economies like ours. Lots is going well, but there's still a lot left to do. So students need to not just take in all of that, but ask the right questions. And from there begins creativity, from there begins their ability to sort of innovate and use the tools that we give them to sort of then develop these great solutions for all of these questions that they have, about how we can improve things. So I think a spirit of inquiry or inquiry skills is something that we love when students bring that into the classroom. And the second one that I would sort of prioritize specifically for healthcare is empathy. So health risks are unpredictable, and therefore the need for healthcare is unpredictable. So your consumer, so to speak, is a very different kind of consumer in this sector. So anyone who works in the sector needs to be able to empathize with a patient, and it's not just about sick patients, but people in general, so that there's equity of access, affordable healthcare for everyone. So no matter what domain you work in, whether it's private sector, public sector, health's there's a huge sort of space to work in, but wherever it is that you work in, having that kind of empathy would really sort of set you apart from everybody else. So that's also, I think, one of the great skills to have.
Okay. Next question. Post the COVID era, what trends do you see evolving in the healthcare management industry? Accordingly, how is GIM preparing its students to have an industry-ready skills?
So COVID, I think, has, it's kind of brought out the best and also exposed a lot of the health system. While, of course, all of us are now aware of where we need to innovate and improve, but we've also seen a lot of great work coming out of the healthcare sector during the time of COVID, right? So we've seen examples of innovation through the crisis in the area of artificial intelligence, telemedicine, consultation services, diagnostics development, vaccine development. So we've seen all of this potential. On the other hand, we've seen existing businesses challenged, interruptions in the provision of essential healthcare services, chronic disease management, disruption of supply chains for businesses. But I think in all of this, most importantly, COVID-19 has sort of brought to center stage the essentiality of healthcare. We're giving students skills in current topics and current subjects, like I mentioned, technology management, machine learning, advanced analytics. These are skills that can really, help students sort of take the sector to the next level. Identify those gaps that we've been able, address those gaps that we've been able to identify through all of this. We've made sure that we've brought these learnings to our students. We've had speakers from industry come and talk to students virtually, of course, about their experiences in leading their businesses through the crisis. We've had webinars with stakeholders from across the spectrum of healthcare, so whether it's hospitals and healthcare providers and how they have managed their patients, and through businesses like the pharma and the device industry, healthcare information systems and how they have sort of developed. So we brought leaders from all of these industries to talk to students, to interact with them, share their ideas, as well as in the classroom. So that with every course that we're teaching, COVID obviously sort of comes up in the discussions, and we talk about the applicability and where we go from here. in terms of COVID. So I think our students are going to be even better prepared to deal with the changes that we now have to kind of acknowledge, which are very real, right? Because the way we look at all of these businesses and the way we manage them is going to change. And the students are well equipped to sort of go out with that kind of information and skill.
All right. Next question. How do you look at the growth of students through placement opportunities available at GIM? How do you wish to push the envelope further?
So I think as far as placements goes, we're proud to have achieved 100% placement record right from the time we started this program. Even our batch size has increased, and we didn't have any problems. Even when that happened, we achieved 100% placements. Our numbers improved. In the last year itself, we've had 6% increase in highest, 12% jump in the in the average package of the top 20% of the students. Our placement figures are among the best, if not the best, among schools offering full-time healthcare management programs. Every year we do our best to invite companies and establish relationships with industry that are mutually beneficial. To make sure that we have the best, not just the biggest names, but also names that are known for ethical business, for good work in this sector come to campus. And the last year we had 14 new recruiters. So in a batch of 60, 14 new companies is a lot. And we have some of the top names, in this space. So if you look at our report, we have the likes of Johnson & Johnson, Long Striker, Terumo, Novo Nordisk. So across the industry, we have organizations coming to campus to recruit our students. This year we're looking to sort of establish the fact that despite everything, the demand for managers in healthcare settings is still very high, and we want to kind of prove that organizations are sort of looking to improve and expand the human resource capability, because they understand that the business is only as good as the people who sort of work in that business. And so, we're looking to maintain our relationships with our relationship companies and foster a whole lot of new ones to maintain this track record and take it to much higher levels in the years ahead.
All right. The education systems in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently. In your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying PGDM, HCM here in your institute?
So I think developing market economies are super exciting, right? And healthcare, in developing countries right now, healthcare markets, the way they work, we have a mixed market health system. Majority provision is in the private sector, but we have a very significant public sector and all that it does. So with this juxtaposition of booming growth private sector, but still issues of bridging accessibility, affordability gaps, there's so much scope for innovation and learning. So an experiential learning for people coming from abroad here within the healthcare system of India would just expose students from all parts of the world to these emerging issues and thereby build an amazing skill set. In addition to the fact that it's based in India and they would understand the Indian healthcare system, our program is based in Goa. And then that's an additional advantage because while Goa has a health system that's very much structured, along the lines of the rest of the Indian healthcare system, it has delivered health outcomes that are among the best in the country and comparable to many developed countries. We report some really good health outcome indicators. And so doing this course in Goa, we have an experiential learning course, which is Know Your Healthcare Provider, wherein our students actually go into, healthcare settings, whether it's, public and private hospitals, big corporate hospitals, smaller clinics, pharmaceutical manufacturing units, diagnostic manufacturing units, and they observe and they interact with people working there. So this exposes them firsthand to what makes the system so interesting and exciting to work in and so complex. So there's numerous lessons for them to take away. Not to mention the diversity of students that we already have, right? In our course, we're proud that we have students from almost every part of the country. We have a great mix of students in our class, as far as where they come from, and also as far as their backgrounds. People from a clinical, medical, life sciences background, healthcare background, but also people from computer sciences. And so the pure learning in the class is amazing. The sharing of these ideas is something that is really rich and nurturing. We've had international exchange programs with 6 institutes who we have these international exchange programs, and the reviews have been really good. We know that this really is a great sort of way to exchange ideas, to learn from each other. And so we feel that a healthcare management program has a lot to offer students coming from abroad.
All right. And now, last but not the least, is there any suggestion you would like to give to the current youth and aspiring students?
I guess I would have to, draw on personal experience to think about suggestions or advice or speak, for students. But I think the first thing I'd like aspiring students to remember when it comes to higher education is that you have to bring passion into the program. It's important to know what's driving you. When you come into the program, either it's love for the subject matter, or a curiosity about the subject matter, which would be, way better and more expected, right? Because you're new, you don't necessarily have to know the sector to work in it. But that curiosity, like I said, it's a skill set and it's a great quality to bring in. That curiosity, that passion, that drive, that's really something that's important. Whether you know where you're going later or not doesn't matter. But if you come knowing that you're going to give it your best and sort of committing to that, you can be 100% sure that you're going to be a winner at the end of it, right? That's half the work done. So I think bringing passion and curiosity into the program is something that's really important. And another thing would be, about understanding and adopting qualities like empathy and ethics. At GIM, our mission is to create leaders for sustainable business and inclusive society. So, irrespective of which program at GIM, and specifically for healthcare management, we have incorporated that mission into our program and activities in a consistent manner. So, I think the world needs that more than ever. And so for the youth of today and who are going to be the future leaders, we would really it would be really great if you focus on understanding what these qualities mean. Really, they're not just words, and adopting them, so that you can aspire to be leaders in whatever it is you do going out of here through your example. So yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. Thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Talking to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.